Be Wealthy and Smart, episode 1540.
Step into a world of wealth and financial freedom without budgets, boredom, or bosses on Be Wealthy and Smart. And now, here's your host, Linda P. Jones.
Welcome to Be Wealthy and Smart. I'm Linda P. Jones, America's Wealth Mentor, empowering women and men worldwide to financial freedom. On today's show, we're going to talk about, does a weaker jobs report open the door for rate cuts? Well, we've been talking about September rate cuts for quite some time, and now traders are projecting a 75% chance of a September rate cut because of the weaker jobs report that came in today. Non-farm payroll growth was slower than expected in July, and the unemployment rate ticked higher, raising potential trouble signs for the U.S. labor market. Job growth totaled 73,000 for the month, which was above the June total of 14,000, but below a lowball Dow Jones estimate for a gain of 100,000. June and May employment totals were revised sharply lower, down by a combined 258,000 from previously announced levels. The unemployment rate rose to 4.2%, in line with the forecast. Luke Tilley, chief economist at Wilmington Trust, said, "This is the slowdown that we've been expecting. Firms are facing a very different cost structure. They need to adapt to a new cost structure, which means holding off on hiring." I think the thing that's not being talked about here is, what is the impact of AI on jobs? Are companies holding off hiring people because they're waiting to see if AI might do the job instead of people? Are they laying people off in some cases because they found AI can do the job? That's something that's not really being measured or talked about, but I think there is a profound impact as AI is being used more broadly by more companies and found to be very helpful and productive in many ways. There were some signs of strength in the July jobs report, with gains coming primarily from healthcare, which added 55,000 jobs, easily leading the way. Social assistance also contributed 18,000 jobs, and the two of them combined for some 94% of the job growth. Retail also added nearly 16,000 jobs, and the financial sector was up 15,000. However, the federal government employment continued to decline, down 12,000 for the month and 84,000 since its January peak. On wages, average hourly earnings increased 0.3%, meeting the estimate, though the yearly gain of 3.9% was slightly higher than expected. In addition, long-term unemployment heated up. Average weeks unemployed jumped to 24.1, the highest level since April of 2022, while the level of those out of work for more than 27 weeks was at 1.82 million, the most since December of 2021, and about 1/4 of all the unemployed. Gare Doyle, North America Regional President at Manpower Group, said, "Today's report adds weight to signs of a slow but persistent cooling trend. While the labor market is not in crisis, hiring momentum continues to soften, and pressures are beginning to build." The report comes with questions rising about firms' willingness to hire in the face of ongoing trade negotiations and escalating tariffs. Those definitely are having an impact, and although there are concerns about where the labor market's headed, top-line economic numbers are still looking good. Gross domestic product increased 3% annualized in the second quarter, considerably better than expected. And that was mainly because the consumer, which makes up 75% of the economy, is holding up. And while consumer spending isn't overly strong, it did increase from the first quarter. So the good news is this jobs report may open the door for rate cuts in September. As I said on the last podcast, I'm projecting at least 2 rate cuts by the end of the year, possibly more. I do think it's possible we continue to see weaker job markets as AI takes hold and people figure out how to use it to increase productivity and possibly replace employees or not have to hire as many. So we'll continue to monitor the trends and report back to you. If you haven't yet subscribed to Be Wealthy and Smart, hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified as soon as new podcasts are available. And all of my podcasts are on my website at lindapjones.com/podcasts. And while you're there, sign up for my weekly newsletter for more wealth tips for your financial freedom. That's all for today. Until next time, live the good life and be wealthy and smart.
Thank you for listening to Be Wealthy and Smart with Linda P. Jones. Share the wealth and tell your family and friends about the show. Check out our website, blog, and social media for more riches at www.bewealthyandsmart.com.